Hello all, just Sean Armstrong here again. It's been a while since I recorded any sort of video, and I do apologise about that. I've been increasingly busy as of yet with the book and whatever have you else. In the new year, I do promise to record more frequently and more, be more available to you all. First off, there's something that I'd like to share with you all, and this isn't anything to do towards my book or to myself. I noticed a lot of people on YouTube especially are spreading negative thoughts, if you will, and opinions about Stoke-on-Trent, my hometown, my home city. I've lived in Stoke-on-Trent for relatively all of my life. Like most cities, it has its negative points, but it also has its positive aspects. Let me first share with you all some of the negative aspects of Stoke-on-Trent. For one, we've got a high unemployment rate, one of the worst in the country, which isn't really, the people who live in Stoke-on-Trent's fault. I mean, it's just due to it's just due to lack of investment from the government and other employers. What makes this even more difficult is the fact of if you've got a health problem or a disability, which I have got. I've worked in some really bad companies, and I will tell you this for definite. I've experienced discrimination on a massive scale. I can tell you that for definite. And that is the God's honest truth. I've received discrimination just due to the fact that I've got a mild disability. Another aspect that is poor in Stoke-on-Trent is the educational system, especially in both high schools and colleges. I don't think it's as bad in universities, but in high schools and colleges, the education system lacks. I mean, again, like employment, I've had some real bad issues when it came down to secondary school. One teacher in particular, I'm not going to mention any names, called me a spastic, which is an awful thing to say. Because of her, my opinion on teachers has been coloured completely, and that's due to one person. Now that I've gone over the negative aspects of Stoke-on-Trent, here are some positive aspects. Stoke-on-Trent, for all its flaws, for all its issues, has had some of the most creative minds. We've had the likes of Arnold Bennett, the author, who wrote the 5 Towns of Stoke-on-Trent. We've had people like Reginald Mitchell, the Spitfire engineer who came from Stoke-on-Trent. We've had people like H.G. Wells, who lived in Stoke-on-Trent for a while, for a time. We've had people like Robbie Williams, who is the most famous son of Stoke-on-Trent, being fair. So Stanley Matthews, the footballer. There's been Lenny, who came from I don't know which, I forget which group he was in, but he came from Stoke-on-Trent. The singer of Ace of Spades. We've had people like Slash from Guns N' Roses. He lived in Stoke-on-Trent for a while. Most creative people come from Stoke-on-Trent. You know, we've had a lot of great authors. We've had a lot of great musicians. Had a lot of great talent from Stoke-on-Trent. And yeah, it's overlooked. And that's only because of the flipping government, in my opinion. If they invested more money into Stoke-on-Trent, it would be a better place, in my opinion. I've lived in Nottingham for a while, and when I was living there, it made me more aware, more appreciative of Stoke, because Nottingham was not a very particularly nice area, especially where I lived for a while. There are far worse places than Stoke. Manchester, for instance, has got a high crime rate. Birmingham has got a massive crime rate. Places in Yorkshire have. It all depends on where you live. But I hate when people diss my local area. Stoke, for all its flaws, is still a good place to live, in my opinion. And it's one of the best places to live, in my opinion. True, you know, it's got its flaws, but hasn't anywhere though, been fair. There are things that could be better. For instance, you know, the education system could do with a rehaul. The government needs to invest more in future employment. I've been unemployed for, X number of years now, and that isn't due to, me not trying or me not bothering to get a job. It is extremely difficult to get a job in Stoke-on-Trent, especially with all the prejudice that I mentioned beforehand. What really annoys me as well in Stoke, though, besides the employment, we have only got one bookshop now in the city centre. No, two, if you count W.H. Smith. But we need more independent chains, in my opinion. Anyway, please tell me what you think of this video and whether or not you agree with me. Thank you, and I'll speak to you all soon.